Hello and welcome. Let's see, we'll do one of these. So I'm outside today. It's foggy as you can see. Like, this is a London fog, I guess, where I can barely see the next building and anything outside of that is invisible, hidden by the clouds. So I figured I would take advantage of this opportunity to come out and pull a few cards. So I'm out on the balcony in full garb, in my full regalia. I mean, not full regalia, but for what I brought, this is pretty much my full regalia. Um, I'm gonna pull a few cards. So how I'm gonna do this? I'm gonna pull two cards leading up to the fog. I'm gonna pull cards around the fog. So it's gonna be before the fog, in the middle of the fog, after. On the top, in the bottom, I'm gonna pull a card and then I'll pull a card face down and I'll take the yes or no. So, like, if we go under it, can we escape the fog? If we go over it, can we escape the fog? Why or why not? And we'll just see. We'll just see where this goes. Ooh, ah, ooh. We'll do this before I freeze. Using the clarity. Ooh, justice at the bottom. I was just thinking about this justice card. I was thinking about the scales and how they tip in the middle. Interesting. And then it's the card at the bottom of the deck. Under justice is that Queen of Wands. And under the Queen of Wands is the Two of Cups. So gorgeous. Using the clarity tarot in the fog. The Hermit and justice at the cut. And let's see. I'm gonna try to not be. Ooh, the Emperor and Justice come through, majors. Ooh. Oh no, who was that? Somebody abandoned ship. Judgment, the High Priestess, and the Seven of Swords. Two more majors. Oops, sorry. I'm like, got this set up. There's a High Priestess again. This is interesting. With Judgment, the High Priestess, and the Seven of Swords, it feels like things being removed from our lives that we think we want or need. I mean, it doesn't even. This is things being removed from our lives, and we don't necessarily have a choice. Like the High Priestess feels like there's this lack of understanding, or it's not the easiest to understand, or it requires a higher level of thinking to understand. Judgment is the decision being made. Seven of Swords, it's like something being taken away. But we don't necessarily know why. Okay. I'm gonna have to hurry up. You know what? I'm just gonna. I'll give this a few more shuffles and then I'm putting my gloves on because it's getting cold. It's not like freezing, but we had a few days that were warmer. Now, as we inch closer to zero, Four of Pentacles and the Hierophant. See, going off of what just came out, it's like if we use our. Maybe that's why the High Priestess still feels unknown. Because it feels like if we use our knowledge or our knowing of the divine and the operations of the divine, it's something that we would hold on to. But a higher judgment call was being made and it's being removed or taken away or being shifted. Interesting. So I guess that's the fog. Us not knowing. Eight of Swords, literally, us not knowing, us not being able to see or conceive or whatever, why it would be happening. And it's interesting again that the Hierophant came out because that would show that we do have, or at least we feel we have a fair amount of knowing. And even we can't think of, in all of our knowing and all of our connection and all of our wisdom, we can't think of why something would have gone down the way it went down or played out the way it played out. The fog, the fog. Hold up. Is that Suncook? I didn't even notice, but my friend, like, so this balcony has two entrances, one to his room and one to the living room, and he, like, opened the curtain. He opened both curtains, and I didn't even realize it, that he's in a meeting, so anyway, he just see me down here on the ground, like, what are you doing? I'll try not to be too noisy, though, because he's in a call. I mean, if they can keep the traffic out. Not that the traffic is that bad up here, but still. Okay. So the first card leading up is the Six of Swords. This Six of Swords is interesting because it's like the forest is so dense and so dark. Like there's a star beyond it, but you got to get through this part first. And that makes me think of a Six of Swords that knows the entirety of a course. And so it's like a Six of Swords guided by a major arcana energy. High Priestess came out. And Judgment, why not? It knows the entirety of the course. So it knows the rough spots and the easy spots. And it knows that sometimes we have to navigate through a terrain that's a little bit more difficult than we're used to ultimately end up somewhere that's a lot smoother and a lot better. In all of our knowing, it's almost like if it's not immediately better, if it's not immediately lighter, if it's not immediately happier, then we would sort of let it go because that's not what we're manifesting, or that's not what this is, or that's not what that is, not knowing that after we make it through that challenge, ultimately we'll get where we're going. And maybe there's something for us to learn. Maybe there's something for us to close. Maybe there's something for us to let go of. Maybe there's something that can't proceed with us to our ultimate destination. And so it's like a strainer a little bit, or a colander a little bit, where it sifts out the stuff that doesn't belong. The second card is the Ace of Swords. I love all this clarity. And I think, I mean, I haven't pulled all the cards yet, but I think this is what gives that Hierophant its like strength or whatever. Because that's where, like, it's like we're moving towards ultimate clarity, or we're moving towards more clarity. And then all of a sudden we're hit with the fog. And it's like, what the fog is this? You know what I mean? Like we thought we knew. And so when we're in those moments, sometimes instead of just allowing things, we kind of, I mean, we're human, so we lean on our knowing, we lean on our understanding, we lean on our wisdom, and a lot of times it serves us, sometimes it doesn't. And it doesn't when we encounter a situation that we haven't necessarily encountered before. Your intuition and your discernment won't lie to you, though, so you could always use that, you know. So, first edge of the fog is the Three of Cups, which is a meeting. That's the left edge from where we came in. The bottom ledge is, this is going to be a yes or no. The bottom ledge is yes, and it's the Eight of Cups. So we can go under it. If we go under it, or to go under it, we have the Page of Wands, which is literally that brand new, it's like no inhibitions, it's like the Page of Wands is down for whatever. It's the adventurer. It's like pre-Fool energy, I would say. I think all of the pages. Even the Page of Pentacles, maybe not. The Page of Pentacles in its wisdom can be the Fool, because the Fool isn't stupid, you know what I mean? It just might appear that way to others. This is so weird. So it's interesting that the Eight of Cups is a yes, but the Page of Wands is a no. And that feels like, again, it feels like in that combination, it's almost like, yes, I don't want to be where I was anymore. Yes, I'm ready to go, but no, I don't want that. It's like, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want the other thing. Just these two alone could be us like dictating and yeah, us dictating how a change manifests or occurs that we ask for. It's being picky. Sometimes we can afford to be. So the top of this, yes or no, going above it, yes, and it's the Hierophant, interestingly enough. So we can go under it, we can go above it. With that Hierophant, we have the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords is a yes, so this is a double yes up top. The Hierophant and the Ten of Swords. The Hierophant and the Ten of Swords feels like a teaching. It's almost like a teaching that we're not necessarily ready for, or a truth that we're not necessarily ready for. It's almost like how it's not the greatest example, but it's the only one I have. It's like how we can cherry pick in religion, where it's like there are some parts of religion that we follow and there are some parts that we don't follow. And not to say that everything is meant to be followed, but it's like if the only reason why we don't do something is because it's hard or it's difficult or it doesn't suit our comfortabilities, like if that's the only reason, it's not a good reason. If we don't do it because it truly doesn't resonate, or if we don't subscribe to it because it truly doesn't sit in our heart, that's how the divine would be. Like if the teaching is outdated, or if the teaching is a product of those who were in a position to spread a message at a certain time, if it was lost in translation or purposefully translated one way or another, like that's one thing. But like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to be that, it's not the same. And so it's like we can go above it, but it doesn't feel like it would be easy. And I love how in this Ten of Swords, like she is above the clouds. She's like rising out of the fog, and this is going above it. So we have to grow. Inside the fog, we have to grow enough that our perspective changes and we can see over it. We have to become a giant in a fog, basically. So the nature of the fog, or in the center of the fog itself, we have the Ten of Wands. I saw this card last night, and I was looking at her face, and last night it almost had this energy of like a burden that we bear gladly, or it's like it's a good burden to have. Like there are some responsibilities that are good responsibilities. Like it's much, for some people, it's much more preferable to like have the burden of like too much money rather than not enough, right? The Ten of Wands is also a card of spiritual journeys, just like the Six of Swords, just like the Eight of Cups. Because the Six of Swords, the Eight of Cups, the Ten of Wands all depict movement. Come on, now I can't grab the card. There we go. All of these cards show movement. The boat, the person walking, and this person. I would say in this case, even the Ten of Swords, the Ten of Swords isn't moving, but it's growing. And again, it's like rising out of the fog. The right barrier of this fog is strength. I love this because it's like the Three of Cups is a card of friendship, it's a card of community. Oh, it's a card that almost hit the flow. But it's like in the Three of Cups, they're all coming together. In the Strength card, again, it's that Schiaparelli sort of integration. So ultimately, like it feels like there's something about ourselves that we have to discover. Or there's something about ourselves that we have to accept and acknowledge because it's time. Maybe with the Hierophant and the Ten of Swords, the Hierophant representing a universal love, the love that's present in like all of religion and spirituality, but the love that we as humans, it's like it's the love that we aim to receive from the divine, it's the love that we hope to receive from the divine, but it's not necessarily the love that we give to each other. Okay. So the first card leading out of the fog is death, which is transformation. See with that spirit up there? It's like there are these two things that can't coincide. Maybe there's something that we're trying to make fit or something that we're trying to make work, and it doesn't. Like there's something that we're trying to carry forward, and again, it's like we can't get where we're going with that. The last card leading out is the King of Swords. This King of Swords is message received. He's holding the message in his hand from the eagle. This is that Ace of Swords in hand. The Ace of Swords right before we hit the fog, he comes out of the fog with the mastery. This, I did a reading. I feel like it was like February, March 2020 is when the energy of the fog started coming out, and it was like the forest and some other cards in the wild unknown archetypes. And it was this energy of like those who would find themselves in a space of mastery in the fog. Like we're all going into a fog and there's a way to navigate that area. And it's possible to find a mastery while we're inside the fog that almost lets us like escape sooner. Also, it's like when the fog lifts, like the fog, because the fog will lift, then everyone will sort of like get out of it. But and it's not to compare. It's whatever is for you to get while you're in whatever phase of your life, and it's how your choices align with you getting it, basically. I'm gonna look before and after the Hermit. The World, the Star, and Justice are the bottom three cards, with Temperance under that. Lots and lots of major arcana energy. The Hermit is between the Ten of Cups and the Page of Swords. Of course, it's with the Page of Swords. Why not? That's another, like the Page of Wands and the Page of Swords, I see like all the time. This is also Aquarius energy. So Aquarius is the only, if I read core cards as signs and majors as majors, Aquarius is the only zodiac energy on the table. And we are nearing the end of Aquarius season, just had the full moon in Leo. Ten of Cups and the Page of Swords. This is the vision. And I chose the hermit because the hermit carries its own light. This hermit, though, it finds a sun. Or it finds a star, but it doesn't put the cage on it. And this, it feels like those feathers in the headdress that come from this eagle. So it's like, as the eagle, where is it? Because I saw it in here. I mean, we see all the birds in the sky in the back up here. And we see the birds in the sky in the Ten of Cups. It's here. And the Ten of Swords. And the message that the divine was always, Ariel! I am in London right now, sitting on a balcony. It's like super, super foggy. I don't know if you can see out there. I'll stand up in a second because this is almost over. I have, 6 days left? I leave Monday. So 6 days, 6 days left in London. And then I go back home. And then I go home. But yeah, in this Ten of Swords, we see the eagle flying. Oh, yeah. Ooh, my nose is starting to drip. It's time to go inside. So it's like, as the eagle was flying, there were feathers that the hermit was picking up along the way and putting here between the crown and the third eye. So it feels like it could have been a little acupressure point where there are things that the crown will receive or things that the crown will know that the third eye couldn't see. And because the third eye can't see it, it can't necessarily get through to the rest of the system. It's coming in. That's why, or that supports the Ten of Swords that came out with the Hierophant. This is like, these are blockages in between the heart and the throat that prevent us from being able to receive between the crown and the third eye. But ultimately, again, we come out with an understanding. After going through the fog. Because again, the star lies after this for us. So, all right. Well, it was nice. Thanks for popping in for a second. It's cold outside. I gotta go back in. Oof, I'm gonna get a final card, but ooh, my left leg is starting to fall asleep. Ooh, I can't fall off this balcony. Look how foggy. Like, you can see this building clearly. It's so foggy. I can't even see the seagull. Oh, wait. It's literally right there. Oh, you still came to visit? Hold up. There it is. I love how it looked at the camera. I woke up. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't know if it's making its way from one to the other, but it's never been this foggy since I've been here. Kirsty, good morning. Good morning, Kirsty. I like, with where I'm sleeping right now, I've been waking up at like 5, 6 in the morning. 2 nights ago, I opened my eyes and like directly in front of me is the moon. And it was like the day before. It was like basically 4. Because that was what, the 4th? The morning of the 4th. And then on the morning of the 5th, the same thing. Like, I wake up and full moon is just like staring at me through the window. I'm like, okay. That doesn't happen at home. And it's clear. It's like 9 times out of 10 we have a full moon at home. It's so cloudy I can't even see it. I saw it here. Yeah, because some people that I know from my hometown area, they were talking about how it was cloudy on the full moon, because the guy was like, even though like you might not be able to see it, it doesn't do anything to the energy. Like, the energy is still there. I was gonna put all these back, whatever, but I'll get my final card. I'm gonna shuffle this up. I'm going inside because it's cold. I already got some snot sickles. Four of Wands and the Empress. Gorgeous. What is Neptune doing? Or what's interacting with Neptune? Alright. Ooh, final card. Final card. For these freezing fingers. I came out on the balcony earlier today. And I closed the door because I don't want the heat to get all whatever. And I thought I got locked out. And I think my friend went to go work out this morning. And I was like, oh my gosh. I didn't even have my coat on at that point. The card that came out is this Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles is a yes. There is something in this Four of Pentacles about grounding. Because look at the face she's making. She's in like contemplation. She's in receiving mode. Feet firmly planted on these pentacles, with this one over the womb. So there, it's like this mother to mother conversation. There's a peacock. It feels like it's coming out of the bush, but it's not displaying. So it's there, but it's not. It's like it's present, but it's not. I want to say like it's there, but it's not present. I guess in that way, like it's there, but we don't necessarily notice its presence. But in connecting to this, it feels like eventually she will feel that in the back. So it's not necessarily my go-to. I feel like you probably will never hear me say it. Because for me, I'm different. But I feel like it would be a really good time to connect to Gaia, to connect to the earth, to connect to nature, because nature knows. And to get really quiet. It's like like connect to listen, connect to hear, connect to see. It's not necessarily one of those like I'm feeling overwhelmed, I need to offload a certain energy, because it feels like if you're offloading, it's like when you're speaking, you're not necessarily listening type of energy. So like you can still do like, if you're feeling anxious or whatever, go out and touch a tree. But the intention here, or the focus here, is on listening, it's on receiving from the earth. And there is a considerable, like you have to cross away to get to that other pinnacle on the other side. Just like the Six of Swords has to navigate the water to get to the other side. Bottom of the deck is the Devil. This is one of the first cards that came out. Under the Devil is strength. And under that strength is the Ten of Pentacles. There's the 10. See, it's almost like there's something that life, it's not the universe, it's not the divine necessarily, it's not spirit, it's life. There's something that life does to us that puts us at odds with certain things. And when we're navigating that contrast, it can be easy to see something in one shade as like good or bad. In this case, it feels like I am good / right, that is bad / wrong. And so it puts us in this antagonistic relationship. But this is like, it's with this, there's something in here that looks deeper. It looks to the nature of a person. or it looks to the nature of people, of a humanity, of a collective. This is yes, yes, yes. Ten of Pentacles straight from the devil. And I feel like that's what the cage is. Like there's this grander, greater order. There's this like greater nature that we're separate from when we are so consumed with our day-to-day lives. And we're human beings that need to eat, that need, food, shelter, atmosphere, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs or whatever. Plus, we want to enjoy our lives. And so it can be really easy to almost plinko into place when those our primary concerns. But nature itself isn't like that. The world itself isn't like that. The natural world isn't like that. A world designed and organized by man might be, probably is. But in that contrast, it provides us the opportunity to do something really beautiful. And I think that's what the fog is. The fog is almost cutting out the outside world, but also at the same time pushing two things together. The fog is almost forcing a conversation that could turn into confrontation, but it's for us to work it out. So thank you, Ariel and Kirsty, for being here. I hope you all have an amazing whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope you have an ear to listen to your intuition and a mind to discern and a heart to follow. And until next time, be there next time. Keep on doing it, I guess. Woo! One more time for the people in the book. This is wild. Hold up, I'm gonna flip the camera. What? The seagull is still there. Hello. Usually there's like two of them. I don't know where the other one is. Look at that. And that's down there. If you look down, it's a little easier, I guess. Guess the clouds aren't concentrated as much. All right. Good night, good morning, good evening. Bye.